Committee meeting to order. I'd be looking for an approval of the agenda, please. Moved by Duckham, supported by Walls. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. That brings us to the first opportunity for public comment. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Seeing none, public comment is now closed. Takes us to item number 4, committee items. First item is minutes. I'd be looking for a motion to approve the minutes from our last.
So moved.
Moved by Bear, supported by Walls. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes unanimously. That takes us to the school resource officer for Vandercook Lake from the Sheriff's Department. And there's the sheriff. Yes.
Morning, everyone. This is a standard contract that you've seen before for school liaison officer. It was put on pause because of COVID. Back in early 2020, we had a deputy already set in there. That position was one of the positions that we had laid off as a result of that. So we're just asking for reinstatement. Vandercook Lake has agreed to the contractual arrangement that we had before.
Any questions, committee members? Commissioner Bear.
Get to it here if I can find it. Good morning, Sheriff.
Morning, sir.
Can you explain to me, I don't understand this, the cost in Exhibit A is fee for one deputy per day per year, $11,300. Fee for one deputy per year, $56,590. Am I being confused by the wording, or
Perhaps.
I'm not understanding this?
Yes, sir. So for one deputy per day for the school year, the cost is $11,318. So that would be not just for one day through the school year, but for 1 day a week is really what that should say. For one deputy per year per week. So they have that deputy for 1 day during a school week for an entire year, then the cost would be $11,318. But they want one deputy for all 5 days of the school year, so that's $56,590. I'm sorry, that wording is a little bit confusing.
Okay, so this is a choice that the school has then?
Yes, they can tell us how many days they want the particular deputy, and then we'll try to accommodate how many days they want that deputy. In this case, they want the deputy every day of the week for the school year.
Very good, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any other committee members? Commissioner Duckham.
I'd just like to make a motion to move forward to this.
Okay, moved by Duckham, supported by Bear. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. That takes us to the next item for the sheriff.
Thank you. So this is what we talked about in the previous meeting regarding the Axon body camera, the Axon in-car video camera, and the Axon taser. If you want me to go through the motion, I'm happy to go through all of it. Essentially what it states is that we've had this system in place for quite a few years. I think the latest one was 2011. And that was for our tasers. They've since expired. They're not covered under warranty any longer. The parts aren't being made for the taser anymore. So we need to upgrade to a different taser system. The other is the body camera. That's been expired since 2014. And again, we have the biggest problem we have is getting parts for these things because they just simply don't manufacture them anymore. The batteries inside of the body cameras actually swell up and are no longer usable. So we have to try to get body cam batteries through Amazon, and we've been kind of scabbing parts and pieces to kind of put them together to make them work. And the same is with our L3 fleet car system, which is our in-camera system in our cars. So L3 is another vendor, so that all of these three components don't talk to one another. They don't understand one another, particularly, especially because of the age of all of these components. But in particular with the L3 system, we are, because it's been breaking down so often, we are unable to download any of the video images from the system anymore, simply because of the fact that it's not supported. So when we have to turn over video to the prosecutor's office on a traffic stop or whatever the case may be, we have to actually video it from one of our phones or video it from another video camera and then turn it over to them. It hasn't caused us a hiccup yet, but I do see potential problems in the best evidence rule coming in the near future. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to get by until we get a new system, but that's been our problem so far. So this Axon system that we're requesting is actually all three components into one. And the nice thing about it is there's a warranty that's available with it that we'd like to purchase as well. Actually, it comes with it. Now that I say that out loud, it actually comes with it. And so they will rejuvenate or replenish our cameras and our tasers in 2.5 years and in 5 years. So we'll have continuously new equipment as the contract progresses. So as you can see, it's a 5-year contract with a yearly payment. So it just makes simple sense for us to do this. In addition to that is that because they're all Axon components, they can talk to one another. So for instance, when the taser is deployed and the body cam is recording, it'll actually it'll actually indicate a deploy of the taser, and it will show us how many seconds the taser was deployed and when the taser actually was cut off right on the camera. So you don't have to guess by the sounds in case the sounds don't work. So it's really a wonderful system. Plus, with the video being integrated in and of itself, having the system in the car and having the on-camera person, you can do split screens and do different things like that, so it makes it a lot more presentable in court. So that's what we're asking for.
All right, thank you, Sheriff. Be looking for a motion to send this to the full board. Oh, okay, moved by Duckham, supported by Bear. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes unanimously. Takes us to, thank you, Sheriff. Oh, Commissioner Bear. Is your mic on?
It's not. Thank you for reminding me. Can I back up to the Vandercook Lake contract? I'm confused. You clarified the difference between one deputy per day per year at $11,000, one deputy per year at $59,000. In the contract, when I bring it up, during the initial term of this contract, the school shall pay the county the sum per deputy per day per year set forth in Exhibit A, which is the $11,000. Now, are they I'm confused. Are they contracting for just 1 day a week?
No, sir. So that's just kind of highlighting what Exhibit A is speaking of. So it's for one deputy, 1 day per school year. It'd be $11,318 for that deputy for that day, for that 1 day of a week. And then for further clarification, the fee for one deputy per year, that's a deputy for the entire school year, for every day of the entire school year, $56,590.
That option of the one deputy per every day during the school year is not in the contract.
Correct.
Did that get omitted?
No, I think because of the fact that the contract is put together the way that it is, they have the ability to do one deputy per school day or one deputy per school week. And they've elected to choose the one deputy per school week.
Okay, I guess the way my mind worked, I would rather have seen the one deputy per year, which is the option that they seem to have choose, because the option they did not choose is written in the contract, and the option that they have chosen is not set forth in the contract.
Okay, I'll have to take a little bit closer look at the contract. I don't have it in front of me to see if I can understand exactly what you mean, sir.
Okay, it's under the contract, it's paragraph 2, fee for service, 2.1. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, sir. I'll get some clarification for you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Have a great day. That takes us to the 12th District Semi-Annual Report, and I believe Jeremy's here. Yep, hello.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'll just jump right into it. As you see our budget, we're tracking a little under revenue, projected revenue. However, our expenses are on track with that as well. So caseloads are up a little bit this year, about 11% up over last year. And our PSIs are on track with what we've seen in the past. That's pre-sentence investigation. GPS tether, that, especially during COVID, that is specifically monitoring the GPS presence of defendants. Most people that go on tether is going to be the SCRAM unit, which you'll see in the other report. That is monitoring alcohol as well. And so the GPS tether just doesn't monitor the alcohol. Most of the people that we end up going on tether, the judges and the courts want to have that alcohol monitoring. So,
Jeremy, can I ask you a question on that? There was only 4 people tethered from January through
Yep.
September? Okay.
yep. So that's, again, that most of the time, if we're needing them on some sort of tether, we're doing the SCRAM. The SCRAM also has GPS. The GPS is typically, if there is maybe just an assault, or I don't want to say just, but a domestic violence or stalking or something like that, we can limit and set up parameters with the GPS tether piece of it, whereas with the SCRAM, it has GPS locator, but we're not preventing them from going anywhere. The SCRAM unit is really more of an alcohol monitor, but we can find out where they are if we need to find them. So I can't remember what the acronym is for SCRAM, but it is an alcohol monitoring tether unit, and so they have to download, come in and connect to our system, or some units have a base station at their house. They connect to it regularly, and then that gives us information and shows that if there's any alcohol that's been consumed, and it picks it up by basically the perspiration and odor of the skin. And so then we can determine whether there's been alcohol utilization of that person. Community services started to pick back up a little bit, and that shows that. And our security report of what is coming in the building and being stopped coming into the building. Hot off the press, and so I wanted to at least just bring this up. We will be coming back to the board probably next month with the actual grant, but we had just received very preliminary indication that we've been awarded a grant in amount of $25,000 from the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration, the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning, and then the State Court Administrator's Office to do a planning year of a hybrid court. So this is looking at drunk driving and impaired or drugged driving offenses, or not necessarily just the driving, but then also those that where there's alcohol and drug involvement. So the circuit court has a similar, they have their drug court that is focusing on felonies. This has us an opportunity to work with people before they get to that high end of felony, and so we can utilize misdemeanor offenses. And so this next year we're looking at a planning to determine what that full program looks like. And Judge Goosery is planning to then oversee the hybrid court. And want to invite all of you to Tammy Bates' retirement party. It'll be November 19th from 2 to 4 down at the courthouse. Tammy's been with the the court since 1989, and so she is retiring the end of this year, and we're doing a little gathering on the 19th of November. Are there any questions?
Commissioners, do we have any questions? If not, I'd be looking for a motion to accept the report. Moved by Duckham, supported by Bear. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes unanimously. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Yeah. That takes us to item E, Circuit Family Probate Court Financials. I believe Charles is here. Hello, Charles.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I think one of my reports didn't get uploaded correctly, so the annual statistics, done.
Commissioners, if you check your email, though, you should have all got that attachment from me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my apologies on that. So if there's any questions on that. I'm going to focus a little bit on Raise the Age. It went into effect on last Friday, October 1st. Luckily for us, we didn't have a lot of jailed 17-year-olds. There was only one that was transferred from the jail to the youth center. There's a few more in the pipeline, but our because there was some issues with clarity on the legislation on, where and when the effective date occurred. But we went date forward, October 1st, because that's when funding also concurred with that. There's still multiple questions on how it's going to be implemented long-term. I was at a series of court manager meetings last week, and it was brought to our attention that there are some draft legislation, I don't recall which legislators were proposing it, to make changes to the implementation of the Raise the Age and actually maybe expand it somewhat. Well, we'll see on that because it always muddles things. But jury trials are going well. We've had little to no problem with people coming into the courtrooms. I think some of you know we've got two judges on medical right now, Judge Rapley and Judge Wilson. Both are Judge Wilson will be back in November. I've heard recently that Judge Rapley may be back next month. But with Judge Grant back, trials are just moving along. That's a great way to put it, Mr. Kennedy. But other than that, courthouse traffic is going well.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any questions? Commissioner Duckham.
Thank you. Thank you, Charles, for your report. Judge Wilson, Judge Rapley are both off. Who's covering for them? I think I heard Grant and...
Well, Judge Grant was kind enough to come back to cover, the criminal side for Judge Wilson, and we've had several visiting judges for Judge Rapley. We had Mike Smith, who was retired from Hillsdale for a 3-month period. He took his whole summer to help us out, and he did a great job. And then he gave us notice, and he was done at the end of September. It is hard to get visiting judges that are in adjacent counties. And my list, although very relatively short, I was all the way to Saginaw. And I will give some kudos to Teresa Bunch, who works in my office. And she said, well, do you know what Judge Mazur's doing? I went, I know he likes to fish. So I reached out, I called Tammy at home, and I asked her, and she goes, he's not traveling because of COVID. And I said, hey, can I have his number? And I called, and he graciously came back picked up 40 pounds of judicial books on abuse and neglect and probate, and he effectively, his first day was a week ago today. So he's been helping out, hit the ground running, and already knew everybody, and so I'm very thankful that we had that ability to use somebody local.
Excellent. Let them know. They're much appreciated.
I will, sir.
Service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bear.
Morning, Tony.
Good morning, Charles. Thank you for the information you've sent us. Reviewing it, the annual general statistics, if we extrapolate where we are at 9 months, where we will probably be at the end of a year, we're going to have higher numbers than we've had for the last 3-4 years in all of the various categories. Also looking at the financial report, a few items are already at a 100% expenditure for the funds, and we're only 75% of the way through. Can you tell me what is causing this trend?
Well, you know, some things like termination costs are backed out of the budget. Those aren't, you know, a budgeted item, but we had a long-term employee retire. So they put that into the budget. Professional services is where we're paying our visiting judges.
You're budgeted through October, though, correct, Charles?
Yes, September 30th.
It says,
Well, court budget itself, and that's what makes all these budgets so complicated, is our court budget is calendar year. Things like community corrections, child care fund are October 1st through September 30th. Front of the court, the child care fund budget would also include the youth center too. So your questions are relevant to the budget this year.
well, let me ask you then, the first file in this text that was sent to us, totals are for first 9 months for each year. So are these totals for 9 months only, or are these totals for 12 months?
This report was graded through September 30th.
Okay, then if this is 9
Right,
months
so
worth,
75% would be a percentage to be, you know, used as a guidepost for this time of year in a calendar budget.
okay, your calendar budget is when?
January 1st through December 31st.
Okay, so then, I'll ask my question again. It was explained, I think, inaccurately. We've got 9 months' worth of expenditures. So if we extrapolate these numbers, we have the highest numbers we had in 3 or 4 years, and if we extrapolate the costs, we're going to be definitely over these costs, because these are 9-month numbers, and we got 3 months to go. So why is this trending this way, that we are such higher numbers this year than the previous 3 or 4?
That's a good question. Well, one, you know, like I said, the professional services are going to be running over because of the cost of 2 visiting judges. And, you know, we do the best we can to manage the budget we have.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, no more questions, committee members. Thank you very much, Charles. Thank you for
sir.
your work. Have
Have a great day, everyone.
I believe that takes us to item F, Animal Shelter HVAC Grant. And Lydia, hello.
Good morning, everyone. We, as you know, have been trying to do some renovations to the animal shelter, and because of the high bids and the cost to do the whole project at once, we were unable to do that at this time. And we were able to receive a grant for just the HVAC system, which is one of the bigger pieces to the puzzle to make sure that we have proper airflow and temperature control inside the building. We were approved for a grant that is supposed to, we did get a bid, and the grant would cover that whole amount. If there was any overage, we do have money in our capital fund to be able to cover it. And I'm apologizing in advance, Mr. Bear, we just found out September 10th. This is the first opportunity we had to bring it to the board, so sorry for the late notice. So that's it.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions, committee members? If not, I'd be looking for a motion to send this to the full board. Yeah, oh, yep, sorry. Yes, Commissioner Duckham.
Where did the grant come from?
It's called 270 Inc. It's an organization, I believe it's based in Michigan, that specifically provides grants to animal shelters.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you apply?
Pardon?
Did you apply, or did it find you?
I applied.
Good job, thank you.
Well, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to approve support this.
Okay, we have a motion by Duckham and support by Commissioner Williams. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes unanimously. Thank you, Lydia.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Two. Takes us to item G with Juan. How are you today, sir?
Doing well, thank you. Good morning, everybody. This is a request to approve an MDOT contract to get reimbursed for the purchase of a 2007 truck. So this MDOT contract 2021-0935 will reimburse 100% of the purchase price for the 2007 Oshkosh that was bought in June early this year.
Committee members, any questions? If no questions, be looking for a motion.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Walls, supported by Commissioner Duckham. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And I believe Brian is here with the Public Defender report. Yes. Hello, sir.
Here to ask this committee to send to the full board for that body's approval of the contract and request of the chairman of the board to sign the contract for the MIDC renewal of funds for our budget. I've included a copy of the contract. It's similar, if not identical, to the contract from last year. The only thing I'm asking today is that you approve it, send it to the full board, have their approval for the chairman to sign that contract.
Committee members, do you have any questions? No? If not, we're looking for a motion to forward it to the full board. Moved by Bear, supported by Walls. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time.
Takes us to Jackson County Department of Transportation, multiple items. We have Angie here. Angela, thank you.
Good morning. Happy Monday. So the first item is the loader repair. So we have 7 loaders that are the CAT 950H loaders from 2006. And our best one out of the 7 is broken right now. We sent it up to CAT to get looked at, evaluated, and they have made a couple recommendations, but the best recommendation is to get it repaired for that $40,439.92. This will allow us to get it repaired and still use it for all the functions we need to use it for. JCDOT's loaders are something that we need to look at. You saw in the staff report that we're evaluating what we need to do. We've got 10 overall for all of our functions. 7 of them are these CATs, and this is the best one. So we're looking at leasing options, purchase options, and we'll come back to you in the future with a request to purchase more, but until then, we need this loader to operate. So the fix for $40,000 is to repair it. It will get us at least it's estimated 5 to 6 years of use to do all of the uses that we need for the loader, which is in the yard and out for emergency use for tree clearing. Any questions?
Commissioner Bear.
Good morning, Angie.
Good morning.
If this is your best one and it's in need of repair, how bad are the other ones? And how soon are you going to be coming back asking for repairs on them?
So I do have Bob here. He can probably answer that question better, but I can tell you that it's an axle that needs repair on this one, and it's out of the 7 that this will make that's in use. Bob, how are the other 6? And how soon? So Bob, as he's walking up, we do have numbers that we're looking at as a team, looking at the lease purchase. That's the best option for us because the interest, I think, is 2.79%. So we're evaluating that with our team and our mechanics and operators right now. Unfortunately, it will be probably the next couple months that we bring that to you guys to talk about it. But how are they?
In regards to the other loaders that we have, like she said, 7 of the 2005, 2006 era Cat 950 loaders. This is the best condition one. We have rust issues with cabs and stuff like that with the rest of them, but mechanically wise, this had an axle go bad on it, and they had to they'll have to redo the inside of the axle. Could one of them break tomorrow? They could. I mean, they're 2005 loaders. Hopefully they make it until we get some kind of replacement plan going, but at this point we don't know. One could break tomorrow, one might not break for 4 years. We don't know. So this is just to get this one back going so we can do our winter maintenance and emergency services for now.
All right. I understand you need equipment, and this board has been very good at giving you the equipment you need, so I was
Yes, they have.
just curious, what's the time schedule for these others to need replacement? So
Like Angie said, we're working a plan right now to bring that to you too, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions, committee members?
Can I add, when we come to you, it's for 3, it's not to replace all 7. We're coming up with a plan for replacement on a whatever annual, biannual, every 3 years type replacement plan like we did with the snow trucks. Unfortunately, these were left behind for that plan. Sorry.
No problem. Looking for a motion to forward this to the full board, please.
So moved.
Moved by Duckham, supported by Commissioner Bear. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Can this, it's under, okay. Thank
Do
you,
you want me
sir.
to well, I just passed a motion. Do you want me to pass another? Okay. We're going to look for a motion to take action on this today.
Support that motion.
Okay, motion by Duckham, supported by Bear. All in favor say, well, we'll do a roll call on this.
Commissioner Bear,
Yes.
Commissioner Walls,
Yes.
Commissioner Duckham,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Chair Kennedy.
Yes. Passes unanimously, thank you. And that'll take us to our second item, 2022 to 2026 TIP project list.
Thank you. So this is our list that we have done through JAX. So this is only the urbanized area that we can use the funds on, so the federal aid eligible urbanized area. We worked together as an engineering team to look at all of the eligible roads and use the PASER information, which if you recall is the surface evaluation of the roads, and the ADTs, and looked at different factors schools and on the roads, different things like that, to prioritize a list of projects for the funding. And then we went to the JAX committee meeting, subcommittee meeting, and kind of worked with the agencies there to try to get our projects on the books. So at that committee, it's the City of Jackson and JADA that are also eligible for projects on the list. We were successful in getting just over $4 million worth of projects on the list for 22 to 26, and they're listed out in the write-up from our agency. I do want to add, we also went above that and created an illustrative list, so that's a list of projects outside of that funding that will go to JAX and be added, so it goes through public notice. So if money falls from the skies, we can then move forward quick with projects instead of having to go through that public advertisement for input. And that's a lengthy list. I can email that to you guys, but it's basically all of the rest of the urbanized federal aid eligible roads that are a 5 or below. So we have a map there showing you the different roads and then the fixes in the write-up. We're asking you to approve this list and the expenditure of match money in the future. Again, these projects, as each year when we design them and get a closer engineer's estimate, the contracts will still come before you, and we'll go through the regular process of approving these projects each year.
Thank you. Committee members, any questions? Commissioner Bear.
Is the matching funds in your budget?
So we'll put them in each year. Since there are various years, we'll write that every year when we do the budget. We look at all of our federal aid projects and put those match funds in the budget and the engineering for them. So yes, they will be each year when we write the budget. 22 has already been in there for 2 years, because that project was already on the books. So that's in our budget, yes, for 22. And then moving forward, the new projects will get added.
All right, we approved the budget a month ago.
Yep. Yep, they're in there.
So is this in there?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other committee member questions? If not, this one will be a motion to the full board. Moved by Walls, supported by Williams. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. That takes us down to item K, State Trunk Line Maintenance Contract.
Okay, so this is our MDOT contract that you hear us talk about. This is what we operate under when we're maintaining the roads for the state and getting reimbursed for the cost and gaining our 8.5% overhead and purchasing the vehicles on their contracts. This contract is for a 5-year period. It will go retro, and I apologize. MDOT moved to an electronic contract this year, so we were not aware that it was sitting in somebody's email box. That's why it's coming to you now and it has to go back. But we've communicated with MDOT. They're aware of that. Everything's fine there. So it will go back. It will be effective October 1st of this year, and it will go to September 30th of 2026. I'll point out that Christopher was on the negotiating committee for this contract. Many of the counties that have state contracts are happy with the contract. We're happy with the way the contract's wrote this year, or this time. The biggest changes are in the budgeting, which really doesn't affect us. It's just working with MDOT each year to do the work that they need done. So we're asking you to approve this. Again, it will be digital signature, and then we'll get it to MDOT once it's approved and get it effective.
Thank you. Commissioner Bear.
Can this dollar amount be approved at committee, or does it have to go to the full board?
It's on as a full board item, Commissioner Bear.
Okay, thank you. Then I'll move the approval of the contract number 2021-0360.
Okay, moved by Bear, supported by Williams. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes unanimously, and that takes us on down to the monthly report.
All right, our October, we have been busy doing construction still. So our first slide Our first slide is Pine Hill Lake Road. This is our crews getting the driveways ready for recycling, and that has been recycled. It is not paved yet. It will be paved this month. Then we go to Matthews, and then Cox Road is right there adjacent to it. These are the ending projects for the Spring Arbor millage. We've done the recycling. So this is a unique, if you guys remember, it was a gravel road. We added millings to it probably a month or two before we recycled it to have them stabilize out there. And then we went out and recycled it with our train, and we've paved the base on this road. It still needs the top course, but we will do that here this month to finish that project up. Then we move into the neighborhood by the airport, Evanston, and those roads over there. Those have been recycled and paved, so we're just finishing slope restoration and cleanup on those. Bowwell Road is a township participation project that we did a 1.5-inch resurface with our crews. So in the picture, it's unique to show that partnership. You see our engineering tech bent down there doing the testing. So he's doing the density testing, and that's our paving crew there working. So we're working hand in hand to make sure that's a successful project. And then because this is a township share in Rives, we chose to put BioSeal down on it right the very next day once the temperature, once the pavement got to a temperature that we could apply it, to see how that affects the 1.5-inch overlay and the life expectancy of that road. Because if you recall, 1.5-inch overlay is more like an 8 to 10 year life expectancy on that. So we placed the BioSeal to keep that softer and see if we can get that to extend a couple years. And we'll keep doing that every 2 or 3 years on that road. Commons Boulevard, unfortunately, is a storm sewer failure that JCDOT had to go out and repair on a Summit Township local road that we did the millage project in 2018 on. Our crews were in there, fixed it, and have restored it. But we do have a utility patch now on that new road. South Union Street, if you recall, is a village project that we oversaw and did the engineering for, and that project is complete. South Jackson Road is complete, but we still have, if you can see in that picture, that the corner where the shrubbery comes across by that power pole. Our crews are going to go out there and clear that back. We've talked to the farmer, and we'll get out there, clear that around that power pole, and get a better triangular sight distance for people approaching that. With it being teed up, people aren't happy because they have to stop and turn left now. We know that they're kind of maybe rolling through that stop sign. So we're going to clear that as much as possible to make sure that that action, unfortunately, they're going to do it because that's a higher volume left turn. We want them to be safe. So clearing that out will help them so they can see further down the road. With farm equipment coming through there, you wouldn't see it very well. So we're clearing that out, and I think that's the only complaint we've had, except for that we're making them stop now, but we had to do that for the safety factor, and that project will be complete. US 127 paving, I think I've talked about it a couple months now when I've been standing up here. We've completed 2 different TWAs with the state, which is the extra money that they have left over from winter operations and different things that they've worked with JCDOT to spend on different paving projects. We are starting the 3rd one today out on 127 with our crews doing some mill and resurfacing. We've gotten to build shoulders for them, new shoulders, but this is a picture of us doing the mill and resurface with our crews. They're working hard and they're very happy with our work, so it's a great partnership there. And then our last slide is a summary of the safety grants that we were successful in receiving this year. This year was a unique year because when I was home with my grandson, I got a call from the state needing to talk to me because we had too many projects approved. So I had to do the painful process of working through and saying, yeah, we'll not take these 2 projects because you only get 1.5 million. Well, we had, I think it was close to 2 million that were successful and picked by the committee, but they didn't want to choose which ones to give us. So we worked through, and it was sign projects that we said we can do internally because we have the sign shop. So these are the projects that are funded. It's as close as to the 1.5 maximum we can get as an agency, and we'll work through these for design. Any questions?
Committee members, any questions? Commissioner Williams.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My first is a compliment. I wanted just to compliment you on your work thus far with now having your appointment, and it seems as if the department hasn't skipped a beat. And so I just wanted to congratulate you and thank you for your service. My second ask, if you will, is it may be a little bit of a bigger ask, so I will say that at the call of the chair, if this is not necessary, that we can just move on from here. But I'm curious if you have if you could create a list that maybe could be emailed to commissioners, just kind of briefly describing some of our bigger trucks and machinery, just kind of what the wear and tear on those are. So as we kind of look at the budget and just kind of look at some things down the road, so we kind of know that, okay, this plow truck, as an example, has maybe 4 or 5 years worth of life on it, or whatever the case is. I know that may be a pretty big ask, and we don't necessarily need every vehicle and every piece of machinery that you own, but just maybe some more of the bigger ones that we use pretty regularly that would, if we, God forbid, we went to the shop today and found that 3 or 4 of them are out, and that would really slow us down. So if there was some type of report in that arena, that would be helpful. Again, I know it's a big ask, so if it's not necessary, we can move on.
Actually, Bob Griffiths and I are in the works of that. You guys know that equipment's new to me. Bob and I took a class at APWA, and actually, he's probably back there grinning because he's so excited to do this with me, but we're looking through all of our equipment and doing that. The class was on time and return and the years of service and that type of thing, and trying to prioritize and understand how many expenditures we have coming in the future on vehicle or equipment. So we're just starting now as construction slows down. We'll be looking into it over the next month or 2 or 3. We have a lot of equipment, so we want to get a big picture look at it, so we can plan accordingly for financing. Like we talked about the loaders, that's just one thing that we know we have to do that was left behind, but we know we have Christopher's plan that he created for replacement of trucks and different things. So we want to get that all big picture wrapped into one, so we have a plan going out for a good 10, 15 years, hopefully.
Wonderful.
So yes, we can get that to you. It just will be a little bit.
Okay, thank you, appreciate that. And
Thank
then
you.
finally, we're ready to go for winter season?
We're getting there. Our recycling, we're done with recycling for the year. Weather doesn't look, with the nights getting so cold. So we're doing the paving on 127. We've got some construction projects that it's hard to, when you're recycling, it's hard to do some of the other projects, so we have a list of things that we'll do this month. But yeah, they're getting ready for winter, going through the trucks, getting them ready, yep. And we'll be there to fight the snow. Hopefully it's not till December though, right?
Right, fingers crossed.
Just before Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, I have nothing further.
Commissioner Bear.
Angie, I like that your department is embracing new technologies, such as that BioSeal. So how do you determine which projects get the BioSeal and which don't?
So, working with the sales rep, they have a very good experience with how it's performed on different projects. So, with it being new to us, we're listening to them, picking roads to put it on, and then we're monitoring and watching it. Unfortunately, we hope that it performs the way they're telling us. But any road that's had it on it, we're looking at it each year. We've done the same type of project without it, so we have the history of that, and we're comparing it. With it being a new program, probably, I think Brett and I think 5 or 6 years of the program, we'll be able to sit here and say, yes, Mr. Bear, it's working, we're happy with it, it's doing what they told us. But basically, it's, we're experimenting.
All right, so you would have no intention of applying it to all roads because you need some untreated so you have a fair comparison.
Correct, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Committee members, any other questions? Commissioner Walls.
Good morning, Angie.
Good morning.
What is the testing method that you use to apply its success?
For the BioSeal?
Yes.
So, when you're applying it, you put like a cardboard strip down in the area so it doesn't go on that section. And then you do a core of the non-treated area and a treated area. And then you can analyze that core. It's supposed to penetrate about 1 inch into that core. As long as it successfully did that, then the BioSeal is supposed to keep it malleable and pliable so that it's flexible and doesn't turn into that brittle-looking, grayed-out road. And then you're supposed to apply it every 2 or 3 years to keep that flexibility. So that's the testing method, is that core and looking at it. We only do that on one road usually, because we don't, the public doesn't like when we put holes in the road, so, but we do that testing.
Okay, committee members be looking for a motion to accept this report. Moved by Bear, supported by Duckham. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, passed unanimously. Angela, thank you very much, and also, I'd like to say you've stepped into some really big shoes. We appreciate you stepping up to the plate and keeping things going, and if you need our assistance in any way, don't hesitate, come to us. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yep. That takes us down to item number 5, other business. Item A, I'd be looking for a motion to pay the claims. Moved by Duckham, supported by Williams. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, passes unanimously. Takes us to other minutes, of which there are none. Takes us to next month's reporting schedule for this committee. Jackson County Department of Transportation, Public Defender, 911. And that takes us to second opportunity for public comment. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Seeing none, public comment is now closed. Takes us to item number 7, committee member comments. Are there any committee member comments? Seeing none, meeting is adjourned.